The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of Digi-all. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to Digi-all Tech News. Today is Thursday, March 26, 2026. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. OpenAI is shutting down Sora, its AI video app, just 6 months after launch, as the company pivots toward an IPO and refocuses on a super app integrating ChatGPT, Codex, and Atlas. Meta is cutting several hundred jobs across sales, recruiting, and reality labs, even as the company plans record capital expenditures of up to $135 billion on AI infrastructure this year. Apple is preparing to unveil a dedicated Siri chatbot app at WWDC 26 in June, with deeper AI integration across iOS and Mac applications as part of the iOS 27 overhaul. NVIDIA's GTC 2026 conference is putting inference and AI agents in the spotlight, with analysts expecting announcements on Grok integration and a shift beyond the single GPU model. Senators Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are proposing legislation to ban new data centers over 20 megawatts until comprehensive AI regulation is enacted. OpenAI is making some dramatic moves this week. On Tuesday, they announced they're shutting down Sora, their AI video generation app, just 6 months after launching it. And they're not just killing the consumer app, they're also closing the Sora API that developers and Hollywood studios were using. So what's behind this? It looks like OpenAI is streamlining its portfolio ahead of a potential IPO. CFO Sarah Friar recently said the company needs to be, quote, ready to be a public company. CEO Sam Altman has been running OpenAI a lot like Y Combinator, the startup incubator he used to lead, investing in all sorts of projects. There's Sora, a browser called Atlas, hardware devices, robots, and Codex, their coding agent. But Sora's growth had stalled. It peaked at 3.3 million downloads in November 2025 and dropped to 1.1 million by February. So OpenAI is shifting focus to what they're calling a super app that would integrate ChatGPT, Codex, and Atlas into one unified consumer interface. And here's an interesting ripple effect. Disney had reportedly planned a $1 billion investment in OpenAI, but after the Sora shutdown news, they've apparently pulled out. Over at Meta, they're dealing with some contradictions of their own. The company is laying off several hundred employees across sales, recruiting, and the Reality Labs division. This is the second round of cuts this year, after letting go about 10% of Reality Labs staff in January, roughly 1,000 people. Now here's where it gets interesting. These layoffs are happening while Meta is planning to spend between $115 and $135 billion on capital expenditures this year, largely on AI infrastructure. A Meta spokesperson told TechCrunch that teams regularly restructure to ensure they're positioned to achieve their goals, and they're trying to find other opportunities for affected employees where possible. Meta employed nearly 79,000 people at the end of 2025, so these cuts represent a small percentage, but it's a clear signal that even as they pour billions into AI, they're being more selective about headcount. Apple is gearing up for what could be a significant AI announcement. According to Bloomberg, the company plans to unveil a dedicated Siri chatbot app at WWDC on June 8th as part of iOS 27, codenamed Campo. This would mark a major evolution for Siri, transforming it from a simple voice assistant into a system-wide AI agent with chatbot-like capabilities. The new Siri would tap into your personal data, messages, notes, and emails, complete tasks within apps, and even replace the spotlight search on your devices. It sounds like Apple is essentially turning Siri into something closer to ChatGPT or Claude, with the ability to handle documents, images, and conversational back and forth. There's even talk that the new Siri will be powered by Gemini, Google's AI model, which would be a fascinating partnership. After years of Siri lagging behind competitors, this could be the overhaul Apple fans have been waiting for. NVIDIA's GTC conference wrapped up last week, and the big theme was inference, not just training. Jensen Huang's keynote highlighted a major shift in the AI market, from building massive training clusters to running models efficiently for real-world applications like AI agents and enterprise software. One of the most intriguing developments is NVIDIA's $17 billion acquisition of Grok in December. Analysts expect to see new server lines combining Grok's inference chips with NVIDIA's networking technology. There's also talk about the Rubin and Kyber architectures for AI factories, and a potential move beyond the GPU-only model. NVIDIA seems to be positioning itself for a world where CPUs, specialized inference chips, and optical interconnects all work together. The era of one GPU for everything might be coming to an end, replaced by more specialized workload-specific hardware. Finally, some significant political news. Senator Bernie Sanders and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are introducing legislation that would ban any new data centers with peak power loads over 20 megawatts until Congress passes comprehensive AI regulation. The bill reflects growing concerns about AI's impact, not just from politicians, but from tech leaders themselves. Elon Musk has called AI far more dangerous than nukes. Demis Hassabis at Google DeepMind, Dario Amodei at Anthropic, Sam Altman at OpenAI, and Nobel Prize winner Geoffrey Hinton have all raised alarms. A recent Pew Research poll found most Americans are more concerned than excited about AI. Now, this bill faces an uphill battle, given the massive political spending by AI companies and fears about losing ground to China in the AI race. But it signals that AI regulation is moving from tech Twitter debates to actual congressional legislation. We'll continue tracking these stories as they develop. OpenAI's IPO preparations, Meta's workforce adjustments, Apple's Siri evolution, NVIDIA's inference focus, and the political push for AI regulation are all trends worth watching closely. Thank you for staying informed with Digi-all Tech News. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.